You ever get a software update on your phone for an app and it says this update contains bug fixes and performance improvements? That's pretty much what this Rivian software update is all about. Hello everyone and welcome to the latest Rivian Tracker software update video. Today we're going to be talking about Rivian's latest software 2025.26, which is just rolling out for Rivian owners across the United States and Canada. This update may not be as exciting as other updates that include a ton of new features and performance enhancements and all that good stuff, but I want to tell you why I feel like this is important. So first I want to walk through what's included, what's been fixed for Gen 1 and Gen 2, and then we'll talk about why updates like this in between are really important for a company like Rivian, which is continuing to innovate its software. So first off, with Gen 2, Rivian has enhanced the driver assistance and detection package a little bit. So they've improved system performance when sensors are temporarily being obstructed by snow, mud, or direct sunlight. So if you've ever been driving and you've gotten that alert in your vehicle where it's like, oh, sensors may be unavailable due to sunlight or something like that, that's going to be reduced, and performance will be improved substantially in the way the vehicle reacts and is able to do things around the road. It's also been they've also improved detection and quicker reaction to dynamic traffic conditions. So in and outs, merges, stop traffic, the vehicle will be kind of be more proactive about it, whereas before it felt like it waited just a little bit too long to hit the brakes when there was a car stopped in front of me or whatnot. I've done some testing on it. It's really hard to show on video, but once you get into it and you try it yourself, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because now it will kind of detect, using AI magic, a little bit of just what's going to happen next, and I think that's really cool. They've also expanded the vehicle detection across multiple lanes and in cross traffic, so you'll now see even more vehicles that pop up on the driver display visualizations. It's a hard word, and so it now detects even more lanes, more vehicles across lanes and all that, and you'll see them on there. Also, probably the biggest enhancement I feel with this is they reduced the number of system disengagements due to poorly marked lanes. If you've ever been on a highway and the lanes are a mess, maybe they've been, overridden by new marker lanes and there's just a huge mess of lane markers. I have noticed in roads where there's construction that's actively going on that the vehicle now behaves much better and doesn't just disengage, but actually can manage to keep in the lane and kind of find its way around. Let's talk about steering performance upgrades. So included with this software update, Rivian has enhanced steering collaborations for sport and off-road modes to further optimize steering performance. So in sport drive mode, they've maximized the tire feedback and enhanced corner precision. So you will just be able to rip those corners a little bit better. I'm looking at you, Kyle. Off-road drive modes, they've reduced steering wheel kickback when you drive over rocky terrain, enhanced steering wheel effort and dampening to improve feedback during controlled rotation or while drifting over gravel, and improved steering torque feedback when you drive over loose surfaces and if the wheel slip occurs. Just a note that all-purpose, snow, conserve mode, all that remains unchanged. So all of this is strictly for sport mode and off-road drive modes. Let's talk about additional improvements for both Gen 1 and Gen 2. Improvement of stability performance across apps. I'm going to show you that here now. I'm going to flip the camera over and show you that because I think this is by far one of the best Rivian software updates in terms of UI smoothness and performance. And I feel like a lot of people have, myself included, have felt like a lot of updates in recent time has been it's gone backwards a little bit in terms of how it felt with the software. But I feel like making this a bug fixes and improvements update helps. Okay, so here we are in the center of navigation. Car's just been parked here for a little while, nothing crazy. I have my iPad with my cheats notes up there. So let's look here at what we're talking about. So a lot, the fact that we even have to talk about this is a little unnerving or sad, I guess, but let's talk about it. So here we have the UI. It scrolls really nicely. I feel like butter, right? Smooth like butter. Take 2 fingers and you can scroll up and down to change it from 2D to 3D visuals. You can zoom in. Everything just kind of pops in pretty quickly there. HVAC, as we know, was improved a while ago, but that's really quick there as well. Loading up the music menu, I mean, look at that. That was pretty instantaneous. Apple Music is still not great. That's a whole nother conversation topic, but it works, right? Drive modes, that loaded up pretty quickly. Yep, looks good. Here we have our Energy 2.0 app. Again, charging, energy monitor. We have our cameras. We have our settings. Settings is a an older app that hasn't been updated yet. So, the fact we're still getting great performance there is awesome. Gear guard, boom, boom, boom. A lot of people were worried, have been like, oh, only the newer apps are gonna feel better. And by the way, how do you know what's a new app and what's an old app? The older apps have the tab bar navigation here on the side, whilst the new apps have tabs. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong app. Let's go to energy. This is the new Rivian UI design where the tabs are above the top instead of the side. That's how you can tell it's a new app. So Gear Guard hasn't been updated just yet. Camping. There you go. Yep, looks good there. Settings, video. I'm not going to go to owner's manual. We don't need to do that. But, you got your videos that load. Beautiful. It feels nice, and your mileage may vary. Maybe after a couple of days of using it, the nav goes back to being a little laggy, but I've been using this now for a few days, a couple of weeks actually, and huge improvements on the UI, smoothness, functionality. I mean, just overall, everything is loading much quicker. And of course, it just depends on your LTE connection, all that. But like overall, huge improvements on just everything across the board when it comes to snappiness. And I want to commemorate the team on this because I know it's not easy, and it's so easy to get worked up on adding new features, but this is important too. So as you can see, massive improvements with UI smoothness and performance and all that. Going back to the additional improvements, this one is actually something that Snazzy Labs, Quinn, friend of Rivian Tracker, found as well. They fixed an issue that prevented the center display from responding to multi-touch gestures after streaming video that was protected by DRM, or digital rights management. Many of you, if you follow along on social media, probably saw Quinn, Snazzy Labs, post a video where it was just really laggy and all that, and Rivian worked together to figure out what the issue was. It was a very niche use case scenario, but they were able to fix it. Alexa now works with YouTube, so you can trigger her and talk and tell her to play something on YouTube. They have fixed an issue on Apple Music that prevented certain users from signing back into the app. Apple Music still needs a lot of help, you know that. Improved cabin climate behavior in humid conditions. Thanks, Rivian Tracker, for the report. I'm happy I was able to help with this one. I had talked to Wasim about it, and if a lot of you who live in hot, humid areas with 0.22 update, the last one that came out, the AC started working very weirdly with humidity, and the car would take a long time to cool down. It's been fixed, and I can confirm that living in a triple-digit climate with 3,000% humidity. Here's another one for Gear Guard. A lot of people were saying that thumbnails and videos were not displaying properly when they would go into the motion cam or incident screen. That has also been resolved. They've also increased the availability of on-demand battery conditioning when the vehicle battery is low. So if your battery is very low in your vehicle, at certain points, you would not be able to actually pre-condition manually or even to go to a charger. That has been adjusted now to allow for a lower state of charge for preconditioning. They fixed an issue that caused the range too low notification to repeatedly appear during on-demand battery conditioning for DC fast charging. They also fixed an issue that displayed inaccurate efficiency and energy consumption values for trips A and B. If you're like me, you've probably been annoyed that it's hot outside and you want a cooled seat, and so you go to press the cooled seat, but realize that Rivian has decided to change it to a heated seat. Well, Rivian has improved calibration to display the appropriate seat conditioning icon. So hopefully you'll be able to properly select the right heat or cool. Although as I say that, it's showing me a heated seat for me. Come on, guys, it's hot outside. I mean, it's 83 degrees, but it's not cold. Although that one's showing cold. What? I just had the cooled seat turned on. Ugh. Finally, Rivian has added a manual way, or an easier way, I should say, to restart the vehicle. Going into your settings, vehicle, service. And if you scroll down, you're now going to have a new option that says restart vehicle. This will restart all the vehicle's computers. So I have to imagine that this is a hard reset where you usually would press this button as well as the hazards. But now you can just do it with a tap of a button. And if you click on that, it will prompt you that you want to restart your system. The vehicle cannot be driven for a few minutes while the system restarts. Restarting will end any active charging sessions, both DC fast charging and level 2 at home, as a reminder. And that's it, guys. That is 2025.26. Thank you so much for watching this video and following along on what the new changes and updates are. Not a very super duper exciting video from a new features perspective, but bug fixes and improvements are a huge, massive win across the board, especially as more and more owners, complain about lagginess and all that. There's a rainbow there behind me. Sorry, squirrel. And but this is an epic win, I think, and Rivian being able to determine when it's a correct time to release a new software update that is just bug fixes and maintenance, along with releasing updates that have new features, is you have to kind of play that out. And I think Rivian has a short development cycle, releasing a software update every single month. So when you release new features, you're bound to break new things. As a software developer, I understand that. But a lot of people don't. And so Rivian has to cater to everybody. They have to cater to being able to make sure that their software is great and top tier, but also they have to juggle the being able to release new features because people are expecting that. So this was a win. It may not be the most exciting software update, like I've said, but I think it's good. And everything has been really smooth. So I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments once you install the update and you get to run it yourself. Are you seeing the software be a little bit smoother? How is Gen 2 ADAS treating? Is it better? And we'll just continue to see what happens from here on out. But thanks again, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I release new videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.